Once again, here on Lines on Design, we always try to integrate psychology with interior design. And color is the perfect example of how we do that. We're going to talk today, Ruthie Ritterbach's going to chat with us a little bit about all the different design colors that are making headlines today. Frankly, a lot of grays, a lot of soft colors. Then we're going to go to Hilton Head Kitchen and Bath and talk to Susan Lane about how cabinetry and some hard finishes still have color and impact. So stay with us here on Lines on Design. Hi and welcome to Lines on Design. I'm Dr. Debbie Lynes. I am here today with Ruthie Ritterbach and we are talking about color. I'm so excited. Ruthie is a photographer. I've known you for years and years and years, and your eye for color is magical. We thought it only appropriate today to mix design and psychology when we're talking about color, and you are the perfect person.
Thank you.
We're here today at Paint and Paper Tiger, and I love Ben Moore because their colors have always been pretty much cutting edge and talk a lot about it. What we thought we'd do today in our first segment is talk a little bit about the language of color. We're going to go over a color wheel. We're going to talk about trends and all of that stuff. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk about the language of color first. Ruthie, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you now.
Well, the language of color, of course, is what everybody lives with, because color is what we live with. And if you don't have color, you don't have anything to make your life beautiful or calm or whatever it is color does for you.
It can affect your mood.
It can affect your mood. It can affect how you feel when you get up in the morning.
I'll be your Vanna here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very much. But color is important to all of us. Everybody feels better when they walk into a room that has something in it that they love.
Can we talk a little bit about the difference? I know that color can be intimidating for a lot of people, and we talked about when someone walks in to choose a color, what are some things they need to consider?
They need to consider how much light the room gets, what color the floor is.
Okay.
It helps to know what your fabrics are going to be. You know, if you pick a wall color before you pick your bedspread, your quilt, your duvet, or your couch, chances are you're going to limit yourself.
And this is what Ruthie's taught me, and we walked over here and looked at one of the magazine articles. You also need to pay attention to the color and really look at it, because oftentimes things that you see in photographs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Photographs, phones, camera pictures, anything of the sort, iPads, computers, that color is not going to be the color you end up with. The best way to do it is to come to the store, pick up a color chip,
Okay.
because that will show you exactly what the color is.
All right.
And we give our clients large chips.
We were.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because if you're trying to pick a color, this is just not going to do it.
No.
You can't tell what a whole wall is going to look like from that. So we give our clients the larger chips to take with them, to keep with them. They can carry them around. They can take them to the fabric store. Just makes it much easier to see what it's going to look like.
And one of the other things that you taught me a long time ago was it really depends on the light, also time of day and the light and the direction that you look at the color. That has a huge impact too.
And anybody that has painted a room will know that it looks different at breakfast than it does at dinner. And one wall will look different than the other because of the way the light affects it.
Let's talk about the language of color. This is hues and tints and shades, and I think we all use those words, but do we really know what they mean?
Probably not. Hue is just another name for color. Every hue is a color. It could be red, blue, green, or some combination thereof. Tint is kind of the color mixed with white, so you get a depth of color with tint, where value tends to give you the light reflectiveness, how bright it is, how much color you see on the wall.
Oftentimes when I'm doing a wall, I'll do a hue, and then I'll do a tint on the ceiling, so I'll cut it with white.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, 25% of the color on the ceiling gives you a really nice flow, especially if there's crown molding.
Oh,
because
okay.
it gives you that definition where the crown molding hits the ceiling and the wall, so you don't have white crown molding, white wall above you on
that
the
makes
ceiling.
sense to me.
So it really
A delineation.
adds a lot.
Yeah, that makes. And then value.
And value is basically the reflectance of the light. How much light you get on the wall, how much color you see because of the light reflectance. Obviously a very light color has a very large light reflectance value, whereas a dark color has much less because it absorbs light. So it tends to make it darker.
One of the things that I think people are intimidated by is the color wheel, and I think it's a lot of fun. Can
It's
you kind
so
of
easy.
Yeah, talk to us about
The
that.
color wheel makes it so much simpler for people to see what color does. Because you think of yellow, you think of blue, you think of green, you think of red. And people go, oh, well, that's just it. But it's not, because basically you have 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Those 3 make every other color that exists. By mixing them together, red and yellow, you get orange.
Oh, I see how they do it.
The blue and the yellow give you green. Red and blue give you purple. And then variations from there. So you've got your warm colors, you've got your cooler colors, which are your blues and greens, that sort of thing. But you can move out from these and make lighter colors. You can move in and make darker colors. And it gives you just so much more to work with than just a single color.
It's so interesting to me. I want to talk about some of the colors. This was really interesting. I think as we've gone into paint stores before, we all see these color
strip chips.
Yes, exactly. You said these are from before.
This is the classic collection from Benmore. These colors have existed prior to 2000. Actually, when I started in the paint business 40 years ago, these were the colors that existed.
Okay.
They still are very popular. They work with everything. There are a lot of neutrals, a lot of beiges. We see a lot of that here because people love the beach, the sand colors, the green and bluey colors. These are a little muted, they're a little softer.
I almost call them like dusted.
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah. Not real crisp, not real clean.
Well, let's walk over to these because this color preview, this is pretty funky fun.
Color Preview came out in 2000 with Benjamin Moore, and the colors are fabulous. They are intense, they're bright, they're clean, and they have so many different values. Again, where here you have, for instance,
Yeah, this is fun.
you know, 6 different colors.
Okay. Oh, exactly.
Here you have 4, and it gives you a little bit more value where these tend to be just more shades.
Okay. Okay. So, Ruthie, we were talking about the color preview, which is pretty. They're pretty contemporary colors. They're pretty rich. There's got a lot
Clean,
of depth. Clean.
bright. Yes.
Historical colors.
Historic
You love
colors. These are Benmore's bread and butter.
Okay.
These colors go with everything. There are grays, there's greens, there's beiges, there's khakis. Really good, obvious colors for living spaces.
Okay. Well said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, talk to me, if you will. Again, they seem a little more subtle.
They're grayer.
Okay.
They have a little muddier complexion to them, which makes them work really well in larger spaces.
Okay.
Instead of putting something really bright and clean in a living room, for instance, which might be too much color, these are a little softer.
Talk to me about grays. I know that khakis and tans in the original group, everything had a kind of a golden undertone to it. What are you seeing now?
Here in the Low Country?
Here in the Low Country, yep.
Yep. Revere pewter. Guilford green may be the color of the year across the country, but here in the Low Country, Revere pewter is it.
Is it really?
This color goes everywhere.
Is it just a good neutral?
It's a great neutral, but it works really well, especially if you put it with white trim,
which I love.
which we will talk about.
Okay.
It just is a really nice, clean background for anything.
I really
And
like
it's
it.
a really, really
I mean,
pretty
it really
color.
does go with
Yeah.
everything, doesn't it?
It does.
You know, the affinity looks really interesting to me. Talk to me about this.
These are the newest Benmore colors.
Okay.
They were designed for the Aura paint, which is Benmore's new premium line. It's made with the new Gen X products, their colorants. The new paint, the Aura paint, the colorant becomes part of the paint film. And it enhances the paint. It gives you more color durability.
All right.
It gives you better color and better depth. And that's what the Aura colors are about. They're all designed to work together. They're a little on the gray side, not real bright, clean colors, but you can literally take any
4
color
and make them work
and
together.
make them work together.
Yeah, those are all pretty with accent.
Exactly.
That is pretty, actually.
Which is a really neat feature of this.
And I know we're supposed to be talking about finish too, but I also want to talk about paint quality, because I guess I don't really think about paint as having a different quality.
And there are lots.
Okay.
Yes.
What makes a good paint a good paint?
A good paint, well, for interior, for instance.
Okay,
which
let's talk
primarily
interior, yes.
The latex paints are acrylic based. The more acrylic resin in them, the more durable they are.
Okay.
The better they wash,
Okay.
clean, and the better they go on. Better they cover.
Okay.
This will cover in 1 coat.
Oh, which is amazing.
It has primer in it. It's
Okay.
guaranteed to cover in
Oh.
2, but it covers in 1 coat almost every single time.
And I know for me, because I have 8 grandchildren, I'm always really interested in durability and washability.
And that's where your finish comes in.
Okay.
Because the more shine...
That's this.
Yep,
Yep,
that's
okay,
this.
all right.
The more shine you have, the more durable it is. But most people don't want to live with shiny
High gloss,
walls.
right, exactly.
Europeans love it. The pearl finish on walls, they think it's fabulous.
Okay.
But most Americans prefer the eggshell or the matte finish.
Now talk to me about what the, let's go through the interior.
Okay.
You said a latex, is that like a builder's latex flat?
Well,
Flat.
there are different finishes. There's
Okay.
flat, there's matte, there's eggshell, pearl, and satin,
All right.
basically, for the walls.
For the walls.
For the walls. Most people use flat, matte, or eggshell.
Okay. And how would I determine which one I want?
There are a couple of different reasons, and we have 27 questions to a good paint job, and that's where all of that information comes in, because the first thing we ask somebody is, what are you painting?
Okay.
Inside or out? Walls or trim? What kind of walls? Is it the kitchen? Is it the kids' room? Is it the hallway that the hands are going to run down? If it is, then we recommend the eggshell finish,
Okay.
which has a little bit more finish.
All right.
It's durable. You can scrub it clean. Good old,
That's
you
what I
know,
want.
409 and a sponge,
Yes.
and you can get fingerprints, jelly, just about anything off of it.
Okay.
The flat isn't going to clean.
And so as a consumer, though, I really want to, it depends
really-
on where I'm
where
doing
it's
it.
going.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Yep. Bedrooms, typically you don't need to have that sort of finish in a bedroom unless you want the light reflectiveness, which the eggshell would give you.
You know, I can't believe our time is up here with Ruthie Ritterbeck. We need to have you come back and talk a little bit more about the language of color. Stay with us. There's a lot more to come here on Lines on Design.